again at our garden on Marion Street. Welcome back. And today we're going to be learning about habitats. So habitat is just another word for a home. All habitats have three essential features. And those three essential features are what we need and what all living things need to survive. Now, let's take a pause and think about what three things do you need to survive? Well, when we're thinking, it's not just about the things that we want, like video games or TVs. Those things are nice, but they aren't essential. What we need to survive is shelter, water, and food. Those are the three essential things that all living things need to survive. So, what does your habitat look like? Do you live in a home? In an apartment? What type of structures in a home or an apartment help shelter you from the elements, like the cold or the extreme heat or the wind? Where might you get your food? Where does your water come from? We'll answer some of those questions here today in the garden, and then learn about other living things and how they survive in our garden habitat. So follow me. Thanks for joining me. First, let's figure out where our water comes from. Remember, water is one of those three essential things that all living things need to survive. Luckily, our water in our garden is accessible through our hose that a friendly neighbor donates water from their house to water our garden. Now, the water from their house first starts off in the Potomac River, and then it's treated at the Washington Aqueduct, and then it's sold and distributed to all houses and buildings in DC through pipes managed by DC Water. Another location for water in our garden that we can access is from our rain barrel. Now, our rain barrel collects water that comes from the sky, and as you can see, it drains from our roof, from our shelter here, down into the rain barrel, and we can use it to water our plants. Do you know where else we might find water in the garden? Well, on a rainy day, you might find puddles that develop, and those are often used by birds or insects as a form of drinking water. But remember, when you're in our garden, you want to bring water from home so that you know that it's potable, or in other words, safe to drink. Our first living thing in our garden that we're going to learn about today are ladybugs. Now, we couldn't find any in our garden right now, but a lot of times you can find them either on a leaf looking for aphids, which are a common pest that will lay eggs on our greens and make it so that we can't eat them. Or another place that you'll find them are under logs or rocks, so that they can find some shade. Now, our ladybug friends are probably doing a really good job because we can't find any aphids on our greens right here, which means that they are finding the food that they need and helping keep our collards healthy. Trees with a lot of shade can provide birds, another common living thing that we find in our garden, with shelter. And trees are great because they also provide food for our birds. If you can take a closer look, our fig tree is starting to develop its fruits. When those mature, our bird friends will have food to snack on. Check out what we have here. If you look closely, we have a worm. Now, a worm is often found in moist soil. Usually, compost is a great place to find worms because not only is it great shelter because of the wetness of the soil, but also it provides food because it is helping break down the food scraps to help create more soil. So what we have over here are a bunch of really happy bees. And they're happy because they are going to town on all of the flower nectar that they are finding in our lamb's ear. Now, you won't find our bee homes or shelter nearby our lamb's ear because some of these bees have traveled from their hives and others have traveled from their underground burrows. Over here we have our basil plant, and our basil plant has its food, its shelter, and its water all right here. Now, if you remember in our previous video, we learned about how plants make their own food from sunlight. Now, our basil plant here is performing photosynthesis, providing its own food. It's taking up its water from the soil, and it doesn't move, so its home is right here. So what do you think? Are gardens a good habitat for all living things? Well, let's think about humans. Do you remember what I said at the beginning about how we should be sure to take our water from our homes to ensure that it's safe for drinking? I have mine right here. We could find a good amount of food here to help us survive, but do we have shelter that would help us keep away from the extreme heat or the extreme cold in the wintertime or the rain when it's thunderstorming? Not necessarily. That's why our gardens are a great place for us to visit, but not a great place for us to live. So now that you know a bit about the 3 essential things that we need to survive, and all living things need to survive, I want to turn this activity on to you. How about you draw or build the ideal habitat, either for you or for a living thing of your choice? When you're done, we would love to see your masterpiece. So be sure to share it with us at Save Blossoms on Instagram or emailing a photo to nicole@sweetblossoms.org. So until next time, see you later.